America just dropped a 245% tariff bomb on Chinese goods. And instead of backing down, China fired back with a message straight from Beijing. Tell Trump to stop whining. This isn't just politics anymore. It's a full-blown economic war. The kind we haven't seen since the Cold War. Stocks are crashing. Diplomats are scrambling. The global supply chain is being shredded. But here's the real question. Can Trump win this game of brinkmanship, or is he pushing the entire world to the edge of economic collapse? Let's break it down. Segment 1. The 245% tariff shock. You heard that right. 245% in tariffs slammed onto Chinese imports overnight. No warning, no negotiations, just raw economic firepower from the White House. Trump's new executive order breaks it down like this: a 125% retaliatory tariff for what he calls unfair trade practices, a 20% penalty tied to China's alleged role in the fentanyl crisis, and then, just for good measure, he piles on Section 301 duties targeting Chinese electric vehicles, semiconductors, and even solar panels. This isn't just a slap on the wrist. This is a sledgehammer to the world's second largest economy. And it all came right after the US dropped another bombshell, banning Nvidia from exporting advanced AI chips to China. So what happens next? Wall Street tanked. The Nasdaq tumbled. Nvidia alone lost over 18% of its value in a single trading session. Diplomatic hotlines lit up, Asian markets bled red, and in Beijing, fury was building. Trump might call this a win, but the ripple effects, they're just beginning. Segment 2. China's blistering response. If Trump thought China would blink, he miscalculated. Chinese state media came out swinging, declaring, the US is waging economic warfare. But the real shock wasn't in an official statement. It came from a senior Communist Party advisor speaking to a local outlet in Beijing. His words were simple: tell Trump to stop whining. That quote went viral in China. It was splashed across Weibo, picked up by Xinhua, shared by influencers, and celebrated as a moment of defiance. And the response wasn't just words, it was action. Xi Jinping, measured as always, called for calm strength. But behind closed doors, China signed off on a 110% counter-tariff, one aimed straight at America's economic nerve endings: soja, EV batteries, semiconductors, gone. American farmers panicking, tech giants losing access, investors watching billions vanish in hours. This wasn't just retaliation, it was retribution, with a megaphone. And just like that, the world knew this fight was far from over. Segment 3. Global fallout begins. The economic shockwaves didn't stop at Washington and Beijing. They rolled across the globe. In Southeast Asia, countries like Vietnam and Thailand are suddenly seeing a flood of new orders. Factories are scrambling to meet demand from US companies desperate to reroute their supply chains. It's a scramble and an opportunity. But for others, it's panic mode. The European Union has just called for an emergency trade summit, warning that this trade war risks destabilizing the global economy. Meanwhile, ASEAN leaders issued a joint statement pleading for de-escalation. Their message? Stop before it's too late. Trump's response? Classic. He brushed it off with a post that read, "We're doing great. Tariffs are working. The world needs us more than we need them." Canada and Japan, two of America's closest allies, are growing nervous. Canadian officials are holding quiet meetings in Brussels, wondering if a pivot toward the EU might be smarter long-term. And in Tokyo, murmurs are growing louder. If Washington can hit China with 245% tariffs, what's stopping them from turning on Japan next? The dominoes are moving, and the world is watching. Segment 4. US tech at war. Silicon Valley is shaking. This trade war? It's not just about soybeans or steel. It's a tech war, and America's biggest names are caught in the blast. China just announced a government-wide ban on Apple products in all public institutions. That's millions of devices gone overnight. Apple stock down 9% in one day. But it doesn't stop there. Tesla's Gigafactory in Shanghai, the crown jewel of Elon Musk's global expansion, has been ordered to suspend further development. Local suppliers are now being told to prioritize domestic EV brands like BYD and NIO. And then there's Nvidia, already reeling from the US ban on chip exports to China, it now faces a full-blown exodus from one of its largest markets. 18% wiped off its market cap in a single trading session. That's billions vanished. Analysts are drawing comparisons to 2023, when the sudden rise of China's DeepSeek AI model blindsided American firms and triggered a mini crash on Wall Street. Now history may be repeating itself, but this time it's worse. Because this isn't just about innovation, it's about access, it's about retaliation, and it's about survival in a market that no longer plays by the old rules. Segment 5, Trump's strategy or meltdown. So here's the million-dollar question. Is there a master plan behind all of this? Or is it just chaos in motion? Trump insists the answer is clear. These tariffs, he says, will bring China to its knees. He claims they'll force American companies to return home, restore jobs, and protect national security. But critics? They're not buying it. Economists warn this could backfire spectacularly. Here's why. The more pressure the US puts on China, the deeper Beijing leans into BRICS, that growing alliance of emerging powers challenging the West. And with de-dollarization accelerating, more and more countries are starting to trade in yuan, rubles, or even crypto, bypassing the US dollar entirely. That means less global reliance on the American economy, less leverage, and more volatility. Behind the scenes, White House insiders say Trump's team is scrambling. Reports suggest back-channel talks have already started. The problem? China's not answering the phone. They're holding their line. And for now, letting the US sweat it out. So, is this part of a bold economic chess match? Or is Trump playing with fire, one tweet at a time? Segment 6, the endgame, or just the beginning. This isn't just a trade dispute anymore. This is a global standoff with real consequences. 245% tariffs, 110% retaliation, billions in corporate losses, all happening within weeks. So where does it end? Can either side really afford to back down? Or are we witnessing the start of something much bigger? The total economic decoupling between the world's two largest economies? Think about it. Supply chains are being rerouted, alliances are shifting, and a new Cold War is starting. Not with missiles, but with microchips, currency swaps, and trade restrictions. For China, this is about pride, sovereignty, and long-term strategy. For Trump, it's about control, leverage, and proving that America won't be pushed around. But in this escalating game of economic brinkmanship, someone always blinks. The only question is, who will it be? This trade war? It's no longer just about tariffs. It's about power. It's about who controls the future of the global economy. And it's about whether the US can hold onto its dominance, or if China is ready to take its place. Trump may claim this is a path to American greatness, but with every new tariff, with every retaliation, the world is being forced to choose sides. And if you think this ends here, think again. Because Trump isn't done. More tariffs are coming. More alliances are being tested. So what's really behind this obsession with tariffs? Why does Trump keep doubling down even when the world is burning? To understand the bigger picture, you need to watch our next video. Why Trump loves tariffs and what it means for the world. Because in this new era of economic warfare, tariffs aren't just taxes, they're weapons. And the next move could shake the world.